Okay, hi everyone. I think we'll get started, and you can see my screen. We're sharing, okay? So welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. Welcome visitors. But I don't think, we have other visitors, but I don't see any new faces. So I will do go through the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the lands on which members of the St. John Center of the RASC live and pursue our hobby are situated in the traditional territories of diverse Indigenous groups, and we acknowledge with respect to the diverse histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of this province. So I always mention about membership, the benefits. The meetings are open to everybody, third Wednesday of every month, but the benefits, if you join, are access to RASC NL Talk. It's a very good forum for shared observations and discussion. We have free planetarium shows, including one coming up, and low-cost equipment rentals. So one of the donations we received was from Alan and Bernadette Clark. It's a Nexstar 8SE, and I'm going to use, my apologies to people online, I'm going to use my pointer, and you won't see it, but I guess I can try doing this too. So that's the telescope. There were lots of accessories, and it's actually been used in a couple of outreach events already. We'll be seeing that. So it's a go-to 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. Very nice donation. And Alan and Bernadette also donated this 15 by 70 binoculars with a very nice tripod. Another donation was from the estate of Michael Dwayne Steckley, who is a member, how far back? Few years, maybe many years. It's this go-to Dobsonian, SkyQuest XT1G, and some accessories, including a planetary camera. And this has also been used for a couple of outreach events already. And there's one of them that we'll be talking about later on at Camp Delight. And this one was from Craig Keating, and it's an 8-inch Meade light switch go-to Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. So we went from, I think, 0 Schmidt-Cassegrains in the center inventory to having 2 of them. And again, this is a very nice telescope. Now, these telescopes have been put to some use. They do still need to sort of circulate through Chris or Chris needs to sort of add them to the inventory, and then I guess they'll be available for people to use. I will probably be using the Nexstar 8 on September 27th, but after that it's probably available too. So something to keep in mind if you're a member. So with that, we had a few outreach events over the summer. And I'm going to go through them. Camp Delight, I'll say something about that. Something at the Geo Center. And then our 2 regular events, the Star Party at Butterpot, August 1st and 2nd, and the Terra Nova National Park Dark Sky Celebration later in August. So I already showed this picture. Camp Delight is a camp for children who've been affected by cancer. Either they have cancer or a sibling has cancer. It's a 1-week camp. They hold it now up near Carbonear. So Doug Grushi, Robert, and I went up with this telescope and Robert's, well, 3 telescopes. But as often happens with these events, the sky did not cooperate. But we were ready for that. We divided the campers, about 30 of them, up into 3 groups. And Doug took each group, so 3 groups, through a solar system walk. Robert showed them how his refractor worked and showed them some deep sky images. And I showed them how starfinders work. And we gave them copies of the Night Sky Almanac that we were just talking about. So that was July 17th. And then July 19th was a family fun day at the Johnson Geo Center, and we did solar observing, and remarkably, it was actually clear. And so you can see lots of action here. We have several solar telescopes going, and lots of people, lots of visitors from outside the province coming by. People looking at the different solar telescopes. And then, so you can see different members involved there. Robert, me, Craig, Craig Baggs, and Randy was there. I forget who else was there. Chris, were you there? Yeah, Chris was there. Chris is there somewhere. Anyways, and did we do? No, we didn't do that. That was a daytime event, so there wasn't a nighttime component to that. And then the Star Party in Butterpot, August 1st and 2nd. We set up in the field behind the comfort station closest to the campground beach. And we have Friday evening public observing, mostly for campers, Saturday afternoon solar viewing, and Saturday evening public observing. And there's a panoramic shot by Jim Johnson. You can see some of the telescopes set up, and Chris's, is this 22? 22-inch Dobsonian, which everybody was interested to have a look at. So here's another view of the field. Lots of telescopes. This is, you can see it's still light, so this is before people have shown up for the evening observing. There are still some of the, actually this, yeah, I guess this is after the solar observing, so there's still some solar telescopes out, but before the evening observing. And then you can see the shadows are getting longer, so there aren't many people from the public yet, but there's members are going around looking at each other's setups. Let's see, go back. There we are. Okay. Sorry, this is my jumpy mouse. Okay, so you can sort of see quite a bit of equipment set up. And so there's Randy with his Sea Star, and Craig keeping an eye on him, Craig Peterman. And Jim Stacy, me with the Alan and Bernadette Clark telescope, Chris and Richard Lambert, and Gary and Greg with their telescopes, and Robert and Jim. And then a group photo, which some of you may have seen converted in a inappropriate way on the RASC NL chat to make everybody into Simpsons characters.
You're not going to show it?
I don't have it on here, sorry. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, members only for that one. So then a couple weeks later, a few of us went to Terra Nova. So the deal here is that around 2018, Terra Nova became a dark sky preserve with help from people in this center. It's a designation that's basically managed by RASC National. And then part of that is doing outreach events. And so we help them. Some of us go and help them it's usually late in August, and they do a dark night, or they call it night sky celebration. So Friday evening, there are presentations in the activity center. Saturday afternoon, there's solar viewing at the visitor center. Saturday night, we go to the sort of official dark sky site, which is at Sandy Pond. If you know Terra Nova, is very dark there. And this year we had moose as part of the attraction, and it didn't rain, so that was really good. And then Sunday, on Saturday afternoon, there's also a solar walk that Chris runs. And then Sunday morning, it wasn't clear whether it didn't look like it was going to be clear, but Dave Newbury and I ended up there and did end up giving a few people looks through the solar telescopes. And we handed out lots of the night sky almanac. So this is the Friday night activity center, and this is David Saunders, who is the park's visitor experience something. He's the guy in charge of visitor experience, and he gives the last couple of years he's given a talk. So he's in charge of the dark sky aspects of it and sort of making sure that the park follows the darks, and he's kind of the motivation for park personnel to follow the dark sky guidelines. And so he gives a talk about dark sky things, and there were quite a few people there, about 50 or 60, plus all the park personnel. And Sean Mellons, who's a member but from Conception Bay North, he was there and helping people out with the Starfinders. And there's Gary and Roberts. Is that Robert? That might be Robert there. And so that was the Friday night. Here's some more pictures from Friday night, and you can see there were some other exhibits about bats, and we had a table. You can't see it's in behind here with handouts, and you get an idea about how many people were there. And then Saturday night, this is Gary's Moose, and the afternoon was mostly overcast. We had a little bit of viewing, but we handed out lots of night sky almanacs. Near the end of the afternoon, the sun broke through a little bit, but then it was clear in the evening. We had 6 telescopes, including Dave Newbury, and one of the visitors who many of you know, his name's Blair. He set up a telescope, and we figured there were about 80 visitors there. And so that's the beginning of the event. Telescopes starting to be set up. There's the next star. Is that Gary? Who's that?
That's me.
That's you? Okay. And there's Chris, and there's Robert. And Dave Newbury ended up in there somewhere too. And there's some pictures once it got darker that Dave Newbury took. You can see the Milky Way, and I don't know, what do you think he caught some meteors there? Maybe.
Starlings, probably Starlings.
Oh, probably. Yeah, you're right. They're all the same length. You're right. So you can't really see very much because of the red light, but that's sort of things going on there the Saturday night. And so those were our events. And what I'm going to do now, keeping an eye on the time, is go through some of most of the observations that were submitted over the summer, and I've broken them up by month. I'm going to have a drink of water before I get started on this. So we always complain that the sky is always horrible, but at the end, when I put this together, I've got hundreds of images, so it couldn't have been that horrible. But you will see that a lot of the images are clustered around a small number of nice clear nights. So what that means is that when we did have a clear night, a lot of people got out and started doing observations. So our last meeting in the spring was June 18th, I guess. And so the first set of observations are the ones from that date to the end of June. And we'll start with some solar images. And this is one from Chris Stevenson. This was, I guess, just a screen grab of something with the center Coronado, but you can see some nice sunspots. So this is June 28th.
I remember that now. Yeah, I couldn't get it to load into the software that day. So
Yep.
I got frustrated. I simply grabbed.
That happens. I took a picture of just after a new moon, June 27th, just with a handheld camera. And Robert did a very nice picture the same night with his big refractor. So that's like a day after a day old moon, not much more than that. Randy did a nice shot a couple nights later of the moon and Mars. People were quite interested in that. So this is with the sea star, sort of automated. How would you describe a sea star?
Perfection.
Okay, perfection. Smart telescope. That's the word I was looking for. It's a smart.
Lazy man's telescope.
Small smart.
Oh, we're not okay. Order. Anyways, there was lots of discussion about the conjunction of the moon and Mars that night. So Randy got a nice shot of that, and then changed the exposure so he could get some nice detail on the moon. And John Peddle the same night also did this, and there is Mars there. So hopefully people at home can see that as well. So also with a sea star, so nice shot there. I threw in some scenic things. I got a rainbow June 19th, but Jamie Kenny got the whole rainbow, including the pot of gold over here from Signal Hill. And so that was it for that. Now, one of the things we've all been following for months is what's the right word for it? I don't know the right word. But it's been Jim Johnson has been putting together a mosaic of everything, not quite everything. It's actually a fairly small part of the sky, but it's got a lot of stuff in it. And so it's been fun to see him build this up bit by bit. So as with the deep sky, as you remember for the new members, I often sort of preview where things are in the sky so you can, I gave it away. Come on. I don't know. Okay. So you can sort of, to give you some context for when we see the images. Boy, this is touchy. So this is down towards Sagittarius, the teapotty shaped constellation. M16 is the Eagle Nebula, and it's famous for the Pillars of Creation. The Omega Nebula, or also called the Swan Nebula. So these are star-forming regions. The Sagittarius star cloud, so that's just essentially a dense region of stars. The Trifid Nebula, which is a region of ionized hydrogen around an open star cluster that's energizing, illuminating the gas. And then the Lagoon Nebula, so that's an emission nebula. And some of these are, from 4,000 to 6,000 light years away. So Jim started with M24, which is the Sagittarius star cloud and stuff around it. And that was June 17th. Probably, but well, I'm sort of picking up what I think you then added that to the one previous.
Yes.
So the first one we had seen at the last meeting, the end of the year. So he added them together using some very fancy software that kind of stitches things together. So now he's got the star cloud and the Trifid Nebula and Lagoon. Okay, and then he moved up to get M16 and M17, stitched that all together, and then he started filling in the corners. This is all happening in June. This all using a Red Cat 50 and an ASI 2600 MC Air. And now filling in the other corners. And he annotated this one. You won't be able to read it, but it's there. He basically, I don't think you typed everything in yourself. So somebody annotated it for him. So, and we'll see as we go through the summer, this isn't finished yet.
So how wide view in the sky is that? How many degrees?
Give me a minute, I'll tell you.
Alright.
Carry on, Mike. I'll get back.
It's only a few degrees, right? 20 degrees? Okay. Okay. And also for wide field stuff, not a mosaic, but around the Lyra region. So here's Vega. Here's the summer triangle. Vega, Deneb, and Altair. Deneb is the back end of Cygnus the Swan. There's the wings. And Vega is close to Lyra. Oh, I should be doing it on this one. Close to Lyra. So there's the summer triangle, Vega, Deneb, and Altair. There's Lyra, which looks like a parallelogram. And in there is the Ring Nebula. And Greg Baggs did a wide field view near, there's Vega, there's Lyra, just a lovely shot with all the context there. And the Ring Nebula would be right in around there, but I don't think I can see it.
No, I had the full resolution at home, of course. I could zoom in all the way. I didn't find anything good. So
Okay. Anyways, that's a really neat picture with a 50 millimeter lens. So,
start.
okay.
Let's go there.
And then sticking with that part of the sky. So here's Cygnus again. Down here is the Veil Nebula. The Veil Nebula is a supernova remnant, so a massive star, maybe 20 solar masses that exploded tens of thousands of years ago, and the sort of shock wave is still moving out, and it's sort of now parts of it are identified as East Veil, West Veil, or filamentary, and the Fleming's triangular wisp or Pickering's triangle. So that's down here, and over here is the North American Nebula. So Greg Baggs did a wide field of the whole Cygnus area, and there's the Veil Nebula there, and there's the North America Nebula. And what's that? Sorry. Thank you. There's the Veil Nebula there. There's the North American Nebula, and some of the stuff in around Saturn. And I guess, was there some discussion about what was happening down here? Just
Well, let me explain that. I was hoping for or waiting for that constellation to rise a bit higher before I started.
oh, that's somebody's house.
But yeah, that's our chimney. Right, so these are actually the snapshots I was taking just in case, so I'd have something. And before it cleared the chimney, the clouds came. So I just did something with what I had.
So good work. So having to be a little bit resilient. Okay, so from there, I'll sort of run through, sort of starting from higher, right ascension to lower, and again, I'll give some context. So here is Cygnus now. There's Deneb, and the Cocoon Nebula is down here. So it's a star-forming region in Cygnus about 4,000 light years away. And here's Jim Stacy's picture of the Cocoon Nebula with his 800 millimeter lens, and lots of stars. Lovely image. The Dumbbell Nebula is a favorite. So again, for context here, Cygnus. I don't want to go and change mice right now, but I should have. So there's Deneb. Altair is, oh, sorry. Altair is way down here. Deneb's up here. And Sagitta looks like an arrow. So there's the tail, there's the head. And Vulpecula doesn't look like anything. It looks basically two stars, or I mean, it's more stars than that, but what's Vulpecula? It's supposed to be a fox. You need a good imagination for that. Anyways, the Dumbbell Nebula is in here. It's a planetary nebula, so this is a star a couple times the size of the sun, maybe, that has gone through. It's used up the hydrogen in its core, used up the helium in its core. It's gone through the red giant phase. The outer layers are drifting away, and they'll do that for thousands of years. And what you're left with is the core of that star as a white dwarf, and there's the outer envelope of the star drifting away. So this was Greg Bagg's picture of M27, the Dumbbell Nebula. We'll see that again. And the Ring Nebula is the same thing. So we are mentioning that. Here's Vega, the Summer Triangle, Lyra, and it's in the middle of this side of the parallelogram, and there it is. And you can actually see the white dwarf, which was the core of the evolved star, still there. Okay, now we're back down to the area in Jim Johnson's mosaic, but we'll look at things individually. So M17 is the Omega Nebula, ionized hydrogen region, a star forming region. M16 is the Eagle Nebula, and it's famous for the pillars of creation, which you may have seen images from Hubble. They're both, 5,000 to 6,000 light years away. So there is the Eagle Nebula from Greg Baggs with an 80 millimeter refractor and a Malencam camera. And that's the only one we've got now. So we'll see more of those as we go through the summer. And in Jim's mosaic, we also saw the Lagoon Nebula, and Robert did a beautiful image of the Lagoon Nebula with his 5-inch refractor. So again, for context, here is Cygnus, there is Vega, and if you go sort of in this direction, sort of Deneb, Vega, you get to this sort of trapezium type shape, which is Hercules, and over on this side, about that far down the edge, is a globular cluster, the Great Cluster in Hercules. And the globular cluster is a cluster of old stars. They're held together gravitationally. Might have been a dwarf galaxy that got disrupted. The important thing for astronomers and astrophysicists is that these stars are all about the same distance away. So if you look for differences between the stars, you can remove distance as a variable. This has actually been enormously important. This was part of the story for how we learned how to measure distances to other galaxies, to other stars, and then other galaxies using variable stars. Which, do you do stuff with variable stars?
I know it's a research interest with my
With your group?
Yeah, with my supervisor. I'm mainly involved with looking at more massive stars.
Okay.
So maybe they'll come up, but
Okay. So anyways, this is the Great Cluster in Hercules. It's always a lovely image. And through binoculars or even a small telescope, that's really one of the neatest things to look at. So I don't have any pictures of T Corona Borealis. Has it done anything yet? It hasn't done anything yet.
Prediction is now in November or June of next year.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't, the probability is not continuous. There,
Particular, yeah, it's not.
Yeah. anyways, we're all waiting for a star to go nova in Corona Borealis. But in the meantime, Chris was looking at a galaxy cluster not that far away, the Corona Borealis cluster, 1 billion light years away. So when people sometimes come up to us when we're doing public observing and saying, how far can your telescope see? And it's not really a very meaningful question, but that's probably about as far as any of our telescopes can see.
Now, with that 22-inch.
Well, okay, maybe.
It was supposed to be, supposed to look at the twin quasar out there, and hopefully we would have seen something with our eyes, 9 billion light years.
Okay. So this is, anyways, this is pretty amazing. It doesn't look amazing.
Turn off the room lights.
Yeah, we need to make it darker here. Most of what's here, and maybe I'll turn it backwards. Hopefully nobody's afraid of the dark. There we go. So all the little red dots are galaxies, right, Chris? You want to say a word about this one? Nobody else can do one of these.
All the smudges, apologies that the big bright smudges, which are nearby stars, they're really, really faint. This is pushed a lot. Believe it or not, George had built a calendar of catalog of distant galaxy clusters. This is one of the closer ones. This is only 1 billion light years away, but there are some 100 members, and they all have that nice orangey gold glow that you see in much better pictures than this one and magazines like this one. But this is my shot at it from the suburban backyard, and I was surprised to get anything at all in what's this, 6 minutes of exposure.
Yeah, very impressive. Thanks.
Because that's all the clouds would allow.
So you start redshifting at that distance, you start turning orange.
Yep. Okay, and some of the favorite galaxies are around the Big Dipper. Over here, we've got M81, M82. I'll get to them later on. But near the handle of the Big Dipper, we've got M101, which is the pinwheel galaxy, about 21 million light years away, and M51, the Whirlpool galaxy, a little bit farther away. And so I did a shot of the pinwheel galaxy, so that's M101, and that was a popular target. Oh, we'll see that later on in some of the images from other months. Robert did the Whirlpool galaxy, M51, and it's interacting with another galaxy. And I also tried the Whirlpool galaxy. And Jim Johnson tried the Whirlpool galaxy, and you can see there's a lot of detail in there, more than we saw in some of the other ones.
I think you did a fine job.
Yeah, it's
Not too bad.
9.5 or 9.25 inch new telescope. Just look at all this detail in there, amazing. And Chris has a
Gorgeous.
nice one too. Okay, and Greg, so everybody had a shot at, or lots of people had a shot at M51. So again, for context, here's the Big Dipper, arc to Arcturus. There's Arcturus, and in between, we get some objects, a galaxy, a cluster, a globular cluster M3, and an open cluster. Oh no, I guess it's classified as a loose globular cluster, the snow globe cluster. Very old stars, 50,000 light years away. Blue stragglers. So clusters, big stars die young, tens of millions of years. Small stars like, well, the sun can last, has enough hydrogen in the core to go for 10 billion years. We're halfway through that. little red stars can go even longer than that. So very old globular clusters tend not to have any big bright stars. The big bright stars burn out very quickly, but stars can collide. The littler stars can collide and reignite and make big stars, and these are called blue stragglers, right? That may be,
Yeah.
that may not be entirely right, but
More massive stars will burn bluer too.
Yeah.
At this point, right? So when you see a blue star, you say, oh, that's a massive star, but that can't be there because this thing is 10 million years old. So it was a mystery until,
Yeah.
What, maybe stars can combine.
so the snow globe cluster has some of them, and this is Chris's picture of the snow globe cluster. It looks like a globular cluster, but a pretty loose globular
Very
cluster.
sparse and
Yeah.
quite faint.
Yeah.
As far as these things go.
Yeah, this is a challenging target. I think what?
Oh, that's I'm pretty sure that's the end of a shiny screw. Which is reflecting probably a bit of street lights is getting into the front of the telescope.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And I think we're gonna see the snow globe cluster coming up again. Okay, and this is the galaxy that's close to that. NGC 5396 and M3. So Chris did 3 objects, I guess, without moving the telescope very far. So that's a more conventional looking globular cluster. And Greg also did M3. Okay, and Chris did another one of these galaxy clusters. So again, for context, there's Leo, Arcturus, the Big Dipper, and so this one is in around Coma Berenices, right in there, the Coma cluster. And again, all the red smudgy things are galaxies, right?
Yeah, this one is only 1/3 as far away as the other one. Yeah, so everything is much more obvious.
Okay, so that's it for June, and I'll go through July and go a little bit quicker because we've now introduced many of the objects. Every once in a while it was nice and people would get out solar telescopes. So here's a shot I did on July 19th with some problem. This is a hydrogen alpha telescope, the Coronado PST. The club also has one of those. And then July 27th, the nice thing here was some big prominences and some filaments, which are sort of looking at the prominences face on rather than from the side. And Greg did a nice shot of the moon with his Schmidt-Cassegrain. So that one, I guess those are both the same night, but with different filters. Randy, that's okay, almost a week later. So it's a full moon with the sea star. Sue did a nice shot of the moon coming up over, that must be over Signal Hill or something. And okay, so this one's a challenge. So I'll give it a shot. And I said, watch it 650. I don't know if I'll try and stop it. Oh, now I've lost my. And nobody saw that, right? Yeah, I'm going to try and control it from this screen. Anybody see it? Did it go too far?
Oh, I just saw it.
See something moving there?
Right on the right.
Yeah, it's up in there somewhere. It's up in here. It goes from here to here, but it really doesn't become visible till here, but it's the ISS and it takes a lot of planning to even get that. So
Use the left right arrow to step through.
I don't know. Nope. Anyways, it's there. It's pretty impressive. I think all I can do is. I can't even see it. It said 650. Oh, I'm too far. Okay, so it should just be becoming visible there.
Remember how it cuts across the disc? But it's
Yeah, it
up, down,
cuts it,
up,
goes
right?
across like this. Anyways,
Yeah, it takes like.
Hard to see.
yeah, it goes pretty fast.
That's where I saw it.
What's that?
It's on the top list.
Yeah, it's on the talk list.
You can still-
Okay, so we're back to Jim's mosaic, and so he's added another piece and another piece, and it's not done yet. But we aren't really getting any more Messier objects at this point. You're filling in the corners mostly. Okay, and then some deep sky objects. The bubble nebula is a favorite. It's an emission nebula, and so where that is oh, I'm not sure if I've got the right picture with this, but I guess it's in that region. Anyways, so you can see the nice bubble there. That's from Jim Stacy, and the salt and pepper cluster here, and Greg Baggs got the bubble nebula, and also the salt and pepper cluster, but on the other side. And then in the Cepheus region, so here's Hercules, there's Cygnus. Sorry about my mouse. And over here is the Iris Nebula, reflection nebula. So this is gas that's being dust and gas that's being maybe mostly dust, being illuminated by a very bright star, about 1,300 light years away. And that's a picture from John Nugent with the Sea Star. 21 hours of data. So I can't see if John's still on, but that's pretty impressive dedication. I don't know if the people who made Sea Stars were expecting people like John to do 21 hours of imaging. But where there's a will, there's a way. So here we have, again, for context, there's Cygnus, Deneb, the back end of the swan. And then down here we have some galaxy clusters. There's Stephan's quintet, and then the Deer Lick group, named after an observatory. And one of the galaxies in there is NGC 7331, and Greg Baggs got that one, but the significance, that's impressive, but there's actually a supernova in there. There it is right there, supernova 2025 RBS. So nice catch there, Greg. And there it is, sort of a wider field view. Oh, were you going to say something, Greg?
I was gonna just tell a quick little story. I just happened to be online watching some other guys. One guy in Buffalo, New York, with the same camera I had, was doing a live stream, and someone brought up the galaxy, and he was on it, and he was showing the supernova, and I had my telescopes up by outside, and I was imaging something else, and I said, I can do this one afterward. I'm done shooting what I'm doing, so that's how I found out about that supernova.
Oh, that's fortuitous.
It's still the brightest supernova in Rochester that's right now, and it's still up in the sky.
Okay, very good. Okay, so back to the Veil Nebula. We've talked about that already. And they're the different parts. So Robert did a nice image of the, I think that's the east. Fail. And another interesting target is the fireworks galaxy. So again, we're close to Cygnus, but I apologize for sometimes the image flips. It's the way that, when I'm trying to find something, the way that stellarium rotates the sky. So again, here's Cygnus, but it's now Vega is on this side, and the fireworks galaxy is over here between Cygnus and Cepheus. And it's a spiral galaxy about 25 million light years away. It's very active in star formation and a high rate of supernova observation. So there's lots of young, well, near the end of their life, but the stars that go supernova do so in millions of years rather than billions of years. So this is a very active galaxy. And so Greg got a nice shot of that one with some other stuff around it. And Jim Stacy also got a nice shot of the fireworks galaxy. The Crescent Nebula is, now we're again the Cygnus. The Crescent Nebula is an emission nebula. There's a very turbulent sort of star called a Wolf-Rayet star that's illuminating material in this nebula. It's material that was lost by the star thousands of years earlier, hundreds of thousands of years earlier. A little bit of information on Wolf-Rayet stars there. So it's, I had, Greg Baggs had a shot at that one. Very nice image there. And we'll see another shot later on. The Dumbbell Nebula we've already heard about. So we have some more images in July. Chris Stevenson did a lovely shot of the Dumbbell Nebula, and you can see the white dwarf in there and nice colors. Tim Carrick and Sue Hart, that's a team effort in Sue's observatory. Another a very close-up look of at the Dumbbell Nebula. And then another shot of the Ring Nebula from Chris Stevenson. I think that's that same screw.
I think so.
Okay.
Slightly different point use of the arc.
Okay. But
Yeah,
a nice shot of the
black pink.
nice shot of the Ring Nebula in the white dwarf. And I had a shot at that with a bit smaller telescope. Can't really see the white dwarf unless you use your imagination. And then the Eagle Nebula. Remember, the Eagle Nebula is famous for the pillars of creation. So here's a shot from Tim and Sue, and these are the pillars of creation, the star forming region. And I guess when Webb looks at that when we look at it, when Hubble looks at it, the dust sort of obscures a lot of the new stars. But I think Webb, because it's infrared, you can actually see stuff going on in those fingers. And I just love that picture. Very nice. Okay, and then the Lagoon Nebula, M8, down here. Greg had a nice shot of that. Lots of detailed, great colors. And the Trifid Nebula, M20. And that's really neat when you get the blue and the red like that. So whenever we see a star, those of you who are watching things last year know who does single stars, and that's John Peddle. And this is part of his project. So this is a red dwarf. It's a small, cool star. It's not very big, 16% of the sun's mass. Very old, just about as old as it can get, because it's not going to burn out anytime soon. Not very far away. Oh, light years. It's light years, 6 light years away It's not quite the nearest star, but pretty close. And it's the star that in the sky moves fastest relative to the background. I think would that be an okay way to describe that? Highest proper motion. And so it's the one in the middle. That one there. So how many stars do you have left to do? About 289 billion?
101, like, one after those that have like a name.
Okay. Okay, it's a great project.
101, but 419 million.
Okay, very good.
419, wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna, we'll have to hear more about the project sometime during the year. So M14 is a globular cluster. So again, here's the same region near Sagittarius. Move over a little bit, there's a globular cluster 30,000 light years away. And Jim Johnson got that one. Lots of nice, very subtle variations in color. Very nice picture. And then another pinwheel galaxy. I had a shot at M101, and that's the end of July. And Randy did, the sun got very active on and off in August, and this I think must have been one of the most active periods. Randy got some, all of these, they're labeled down here, 4194, 4201, 4195. And so Randy caught these with the C star close up and the sort of full view of the sun. And then some solar system objects. Robert got, this was from the Butterplot Star Party. So we actually did have a nice quarter moon, just about. And so this was the moon on August 2nd. And Cynthia got up very early in the morning and just with a cell phone got a picture of Venus and Jupiter in August. Yeah. So and August 8th, full moon from Robert, and Jamie Kenny had a nice it's just trying to tell me this meeting is being recorded. Oh, okay. I guess that's been there for a while. So this is from Witless Bay, and he was on puffin patrol. And this was the smoked sturgeon moon, I guess. Well, it was probably the sturgeon moon, and it was smoky because of the fire. I don't know. Okay, and about the same time, same day, John Pell. So this is when we had a lot of smoke in the atmosphere. And the Perseid meteors from Gary's meteor camera. Not all of those are meteors. Some of them are probably birds. I don't know.
Or sorry, he dropped his camera in the grass.
Anyways,
Clouds.
and then there are lots of clouds here. Anyways, the ones that are most now,
Those are Sterlings.
yeah, the ones that are parallel, are they Starlinks?
Yes,
So some of those,
and yep, the other ones are helicopter on the left. Or probably.
Yeah, I'd say the meteors like fade in and fade out.
yeah, so there's a meteor there.
Yeah.
There's a meteor. So lots of them are meteors.
67 or something.
Yeah. Anyways, always lots of fun to see those. Thanks, Gary.
Now I wonder what those gray things are. Those,
Oh, those are clouds.
They're cloud.
Okay, so let's see. So Saturn started to become visible. So I had a shot at Saturn with my 80 millimeter. And Robert, this was also 4 in the morning, a little bit later. And so these two are Castor and Pollux left top. So Castor and Pollux there's Venus, and no, there's Venus, and there's Jupiter, I think. And Jamie Kinney got some nice lightning shots. This was actually the end of July, but I guess posted it. And oh, this one's a video. So this is from Richard. Yeah, you may remember that storm. And more smoky sun. This is smoke in Jim Johnson's backyard. We were a little nervous, but, and this is the viewing at Hibernia on August 14th.
On the way by boat?
Yeah.
And so as promised, Jim added some more corners to his mosaic in August. And then we get to the deep sky stuff again. So again, the bubble nebula. This one's from Robert at the Star Party, and the Salt and Pepper cluster. And Greg Baggs, again, the bubble nebula and Salt and Pepper cluster. And Jim Johnson's bubble nebula, there it is right there. And this is a wide field with the Red Cat 50. So the Salt and Pepper and
Lobster.
lobster claw. Okay, thank you. And this is close up. So this is with the 9¼ inch of the bubble nebula. Lots of detail there. Wow. Okay, and back to the these galaxy clusters. Greg Baggs, again, this is the supernova and NGC 7331, and this was at Butterpot. And I guess that's it there. You sort of see it there. And he also annotated everything, but I'm not going to go through everything. There are a lot of objects, little galaxies, things like that in here. The Cocoon Nebula, again, where there's Cygnus, Cocoon Nebula is down here. And there it is from Jim Johnson. Beautiful colors, lots of beautiful stars, lots of colors in the stars. The Crescent Nebula, we've seen that before. It's sort of right in Cygnus, and Randy did that with, that was from the Butterpot Star Party with Sea Star. I had a try at it with my 80mm, and Robert did it again with his 127mm. And the Dumbbell Nebula. So we're seeing some of the same objects, which is not surprising. So again, from the Butterpot Star Party, nice image with the Sea Star from Randy. I did it a night later. And again, Tim and Sue got a nice close-up of the Dumbbell Nebula. Okay, so in the same region, we've got a an emission nebula and an open cluster. So just the Dumbbell Nebula we just been looking at was over here, and now we move down here a little bit, and this is an image from Greg Baggs. So an open cluster and the emission nebula, and so let me. This is just before. Okay, let me look here.
It's the same object.
Yeah, I know. So this thing here, you know what? I think my mouse is dying. Let me do it with this. Oh, and my pointer's dead. Oh, boy. Okay, so this thing and this thing, I think, are the same. Okay. Okay, and then we're back to the fireworks galaxy. And there's Jim's fireworks galaxy. Jim's, when he uses 9¼ inch, you get a lot of detail, just beautiful, imaging of the dust and the star forming regions. The bright bits are where stars are forming in the spiral arms. In spiral galaxies, the star formation happens in the spiral arms. And this is the Cat's Eye Nebula. And I think you did a few things with that. I think I got the latest version of it here. You can see why it's called that. And the Great Cluster in Hercules, one from Greg Baggs. Oh, and I forgot to put the yellow background on this one, but again, to the Big Dipper and the handle of the Big Dipper. Above it is M101, the pinwheel, and below it is the Whirlpool Galaxy. And the Whirlpool Galaxy is interacting with a smaller galaxy. So there's from the Butterpot Star Party, the Pinwheel Galaxy, and also from the Butterpot Star Party. This one's from Greg, the other one was from Randy. And then we get the double cluster. And oh, yeah, the double cluster and other stuff near it. And this is from Jim Johnson. So the double cluster is way down here in the corner. And what's all this stuff? That's
The bottom of the heart.
bottom of the Heart Nebula. Yeah. Oh, there it is there. Yeah. And a few shots of the Andromeda Galaxy. So we're getting into that kind of season now. So Randy did one with from Butterpot Star Party. Just to remind you, the Andromeda Galaxy, there's Cassiopeia, there's Pegasus. Is that Pegasus?
Pegasus is just off the screen.
Yeah, I know, but is that
That's Andromeda. Yeah.
okay? I always think of that as part of Pegasus too. Okay, so that's Andromeda, but it attaches to Pegasus. And there's the Andromeda Galaxy there. So the from the Butterpot Star Party with a C Star S50, and that one is Jim Johnson with his Red Cat 50. So you must have had to crop that a bit. Oh, okay. It's a big object, I guess.
Some sort of uncharted convolution.
Yeah, and Robert, and that's the end of August. So now we've got a couple weeks in September, no solar images. I did a Saturn. Tim and Sue did a Saturn. And we do, these are done by doing a video and then using something like PIP, which is Planetary Imaging Preprocessor, to break the video up into frames that are then stacked, sharpened, and that's how we get the images. Jim Johnson did a shot. I think this is, Jim, is this your first planet shot?
That's my first planetary image in years.
Okay. No, see it white. And is that it finished?
For now. To answer the question on the field of view, it's 12.8 by 9.6 degrees.
How many pixels? Wow.
12 degrees, did you say?
12 degrees.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 14,833 by 11,165. So I'm gonna do the megapixel map on that.
Okay.
And you could just dive in.
And you can tell I was doing these slides in the last day or so because I forgot to put any of the yellow background on my So, Jim pushes me a bit, right? I have all these stock slides of things that everybody looks at, but Jim is always pulling out objects that nobody looks at. And so I have to find a slide for it. So, and make up a slide for it. So there's Pegasus. And this is a galaxy about 30 billion light years away. So there's Cassiopeia, Pegasus, and Cygnus over here. And that's a barred spiral galaxy. And it's not obvious that it's a barred spiral galaxy, but people looking at images like this can figure out that it is. And once again, the dust and the bright star forming regions are just amazing in these images. The Wizard Nebula we've seen before last year, and this is one from Robert. So the Wizard Nebula is down here near Cepheus. Again, there's Cygnus for context. And you have to sort of twist a little bit to see the wizard. The wizard's sort of falling on his face here, I think.
There's one on the back.
He's lying on his back, okay.
Hand pointed up.
The Elephant Trunk Nebula's in near Cepheus. And here's one from Jim. This is now this one we haven't seen the RASC for a while. So this is the Return of the RASC. So the deal with the RASC is it can only be an astrograph, and it's a wide field. It's a very
400 millimeter.
Yeah.
400 f2.
Yeah, 400 f2. Okay, and so there's the Elephant Trunk, and again the Dumbbell Nebula. We've seen that before. A favorite, Gary Diamond with a sea star. In around here, the snow globe. Okay, so here's Altair and Vega and Deneb. So there's the summer triangle. The snow globe is down here. That's 6781. It's a planetary nebula, and it's also, I think, yeah. So there it is there. Oh, so sorry. We had a cluster and a nebula. So the word snow globe has been used more than once. Okay. Anyway, so this is the snow globe nebula. It's a planetary nebula, a star that has lost its outer layers. There's a white dwarf in there somewhere. And then the flaming star nebulas in Auriga. So Gemini, there it is there. So they go back. Flaming star nebula there. There's also a bunch of nice open clusters in Auriga. And the tadpoles and the flaming star are close to each other. The tadpoles are a star forming region, a dense region of gas and dust. So there's the flaming star, and there's the tadpoles, and I think it's those two guys there that are the actual tadpoles.
It looked more like something else to me.
Yeah, okay. That's his medical background speaking. Okay. Okay, and then the heart and the soul nebula. So Cassiopeia, you go off in the direction of double cluster, and the heart and soul are up here. And there's the Soul Nebula from Jim Stacy with his 800 millimeter lens. Lovely image. And the Heart Nebula. Is that the same night? No. That was September 1st. That was September 4th.
I think these are both 500.
Oh, did I get it wrong? Sorry. I guess somebody else should be doing this thing. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyways. So heart and soul, and this is Jim's picture, and Malott is part of
This is very center of the heart.
Very center of the heart.
there.
Yeah, it's kind of called a wizard, actually. Looks like a wizard fighting a bunch of dragons off the.
Okay.
To the left.
I gotta get one of your smoking, man.
I'm getting a sore neck sort of doing this, but okay. Anyways, there that
It's like he's
is.
holding a staff.
And this was a,
Candle.
okay, yeah, I got it. So this is a monochrome camera, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that's it for September. That's it for the images for this summer. So there were a few images. The sky this month will be posted, and you can find this link on our webpage. And so just reminder, Anna O'Grady's here October 1st, but she will also be talking to us in December. Oh, and I don't have September 28th at 8:30. Is that right, Gary?
Oh, planetarium.
Yeah.
It was 25th.
Oh,
Yeah, 25th.
September 25th, right, 10 days.
30, yeah.
September 25th at 8:30 at the Marine Institute.
Yeah.
We'll have a planetarium show called Galaxies.
Yeah.
Ann O'Grady's here for a physics department seminar October 1st, but we will be hearing from her in December, same topic. Our public observing event will be September 27th with October 4th as the alternate date. Our next meeting is the third Wednesday of September. It's the AGM and the 60th anniversary. I encourage people to contact Randy and say that they would like to run for president. And we're looking for speakers. And I reminded you about the change in the membership renewal policy. That the grace period has ended, but you will be getting much more systematic renewal notices before your membership expires. So we have some new members. I'd encourage people to introduce themselves to the new members, and I encourage the new members to introduce themselves to. There are no more Night Sky Almanacs, but Randy has a few here for people if they want them. And with that, I think we're done.
Thank you, Mike.
Don't run away. Okay, and thank you. And folks online, thank you for your patience. You hung in there pretty well. You're welcome, David. Let's see, so I didn't have the full. So I didn't see all the names there. Oh, Gary Snow. Hi, Gary. Hi, David. Hi, Doug. And hi, everybody else online. Hi. I'll probably be shutting down the Zoom in a few minutes. And people who are in the room, we have some refreshments up at the front. Please help yourself, people online. Thanks for coming, and see you in a month or so. Bye, everybody.